At 4:07, we'll call the special meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. It's the 30th of January, our 4 o'clock meeting in the American Legion Room. The sole order of business is to appoint positions with terms ending in January of 23. So right now we have, we'll just start with the sheet that has been previously disseminated to the select people. The first position is the ADA coordinator on the ADA committee. This is ordinarily filled by the Social Services Director, which has changed from Jennifer Datum to Amy Bonatti. So that does not have a specific term. It's a staff position, essentially. So we could look for a motion to have Amy be the ADA coordinator.
I'll make a motion to appoint Amy Bonatti to the ADA committee as the coordinator for a term starting January 31st, 2023. A term starting.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No end term.
No specific term.
I'll
okay,
second.
Seconded by Martha. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, passes unanimously. The next group is the Affordable Housing Committee. We have incumbents on this one. We have Jennifer Miller, who is a regular member. Let's see, and we have Amy Hosier. Let me just make. I'm just noticing that if the Affordable Housing Committee has a commission, rather. Okay, this was a committee, so that on the handout it says committee, but it's a commission. Once it went to a commission, terms actually started. So we have people with terms ending here. So Jennifer Miller has a term that ended in January of 23. So we're going to have a 3-year term, which will then make it January of 26. So that NA is incorrect. So it would be 31 January of 26. Amy Hosier is an alternate, but let's see. I think Amy is going to be filling a vacancy
from Karen Winters.
Well, Amy is going to fill a vacancy from Karen Winters.
Yep.
With a similar term. So it'll go from January 23 to January of 26.
So you want to do those two? Because you want to do those two separately?
Well, we thought we'd do them by. I think since there's no other people involved, we have Anthony Vassalou, who is an alternate, and alternates have a 3-year term. 3-year term, so his term will go similarly as to the others from January 23 to January of 26.
It looks like 2. It looks like 2 years. Well, one of them, Amy, has a 3-year term, but it looks like Anthony or Lori have a 2-year term.
Well,
right.
3. Oh, one has 2, one has 3, I guess.
Yeah, I believe it must be a 3-year term.
Okay. Sorry.
Well, if not, we'll modify it. But so this will go to 31 January of 26 for the alternate, Anthony Vassalou. So those 3 individuals.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we appoint Jennifer Miller and Amy Hoosier to regular positions on the Affordable Housing Commission for a 3-year term ending in January of 2026, and Anthony Vasilou as an alternate to the Affordable Housing Committee, also ending in January of 2026.
I just make sure it's commission, not committee, but...
Yep.
I'm sorry.
I'll second that. Yep.
Okay, Mr. Ward seconds that. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Next, we have the Conservation Commission. When I checked the ordinance, there were irregularities in the terms because the Conservation has 6 people. There are 2 with one class, 2 with another class, and 2 with a third class. So there should be three different years. So in order to make that work, we had to make some modifications to the terms. But on the conservation, we have presently 2 members who want to go from regular membership to alternate, and 2 alternates who will fill those regular members. So that's where we are with this. And so we're going to have Tracy Russell, who will come from being an alternate to becoming a regular member, and Nicole Cable from a alternate to a regular member. And then we're going to have Charlotte Lyman, who will go from a regular to an alternate, and Gary Gregory the same. Okay, and then we have the current chairman, Anthony Daniels, whose term is up, and he's going to go on a 3-year term to January of 26. And we have an alternate, Madeline Longfellow, who has a 1-year alternate term, so she would be going to January of 24. So there's a lot of information there.
And then Tom Shearer also is just correcting his term, so it ends in January of 26.
Tom Shearer.
Oh, Tom Shearer, yeah. Tom Shearer, yes, he goes from 23 to 26.
Okay.
You want me to try it, Martha?
I think we just go down this list.
I think we just do the regulars and then do the alternates, and it's so much easier. They're all the same. Yeah.
Right. So I'll make a motion to appoint Tracy Russell and Nicole Cobble to the Conservation Commission as full members with a term ending January 31st, 2025. And also Gary Gregory and...
You want to do Shearer as the regular members?
Shearer and...
Oh, okay.
If you want to keep the regular.
Tom Shearer and Anthony Daniels as regular members with a term ending January 31st, 2026. And then as alternates, Charlotte Holly Lyman, Gary Gregory, and Madeline Longfellow with a 1-year term ending January 31st, 2024.
I will second that motion.
Okay, any discussion on these? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Next one is the Economic Development Commission. We have Joseph Camian, who is a regular member with a 5-year term to end in January of 28. And we have Scott Smith, who I believe is a new person to join that group. And he will be going for a 5-year term ending January of 28. To both members, January 28.
I'll make a motion to appoint Joseph Camion and Scott Smith to 6-year terms, ending in January. 5-year terms, ending in January 31st of 2028 to the Economic Development Commission.
I'll second.
Any discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Then we have next the Flood and Erosion Control Board, which is very sparsely populated, but there is a member who has a 2-year regular term ending January of 25, and he's willing to continue, which is Steve Martino.
I'll make a motion to appoint Steve Martino to the Flood and Erosion Control Board with a term ending January 31st, 2025.
And I will second that.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next we have the Historic District Commission. We have Deb Zarnicki for a regular term, a 5-year term, ending January of 28. And we have a new person, Edward Pinn, as an alternate with a 3-year term ending January of 26. And I can elaborate on Mr. Pinn. Ed has been in town. He's been an eye doctor, and he's on the Olin Cemetery board, so he's filling an open seat here.
Okay, I'll make a motion to appoint Deb Zarnicki to the Historic District Commission for a 5-year term ending in January 31st of 2028, and appointing Edward Pinn as an alternate position for a 3-year term to the Historic District Commission ending in January 31st of 2026.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on those? If not, we can vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. Carries. Next is the Inland Wetlands Commission. I will lead off by indicating that we are still working with the alternate positions. We have more alternate, beyond what you see here, Mark Aurelia and Todd Corlius. I believe there's another individual that is interested. So I would recommend that we consider extending the regular members and that we take more time to evaluate the alternate members. We'll be having the Selectmen's meeting on the 6th of February, so it's just fairly close at hand here. So whether the Selectmen would agree to that, we can ask.
This will give Rachel some time to provide us with feedback on all of applicants, not just what she saw at one time prior to this meeting.
Yeah, and we were getting applications pretty much daily, so we finally had to cut it off. But I think on this one we could review the bidding and at least do the regular members.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to appoint Rachel Gaudio as a regular member of the Inland Wetland Commission with a expiration date of January 31st, 2026, and Jared Bombassi and John Measham from alternates to regular members with a expiration of January 31st, 2026.
That's a 3-year term for the
3-year term, sorry.
Yep.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion?
The only point is that Don was a regular member because we appointed him in November to a regular member position.
Oh, you're correct. Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Martha?
Yep, aye, sorry. I said it at the same time.
Sorry.
So we'll wait on the
And we'll table the others.
open space. We have 2 regular members and an alternate position. We have Evan Griswold with a 3-year regular term ending the 31st of January 26, and Greg Futoma with a 3-year term ending January of 26. We have Michael Aurelia, who would like to be an alternate, and so his term would be a 3-year term ending the 31st of January 26 as well.
I thought he wanted to move up where Gregory was. I thought he wanted to be a full member, according to your sheet. In the comments it said, Chair would like to move up, have him fill Gregory's spot because Gregory resigned.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, because he has been an alternate. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, let's since there's no motion, let's say it'll be a regular position from an alternate.
Which means there'll be 2 alternate positions open at that open space then.
Correct.
Yes, because Bruce Baratz is not continuing, so
Right.
there'll be
Okay, so
the vacancy created by Aurelia.
All right, so
All right.
I'll make a motion to appoint Evan Griswold, Greg Futoma, and Michael Aurelia to 3-year regular commission members to 3-year terms ending January 31st, 2026 to the Open Space Commission.
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any other discussion on it?
Only question I had, and so that's a total of 7 full members, right? And that's 6 and 1 split. I didn't know if that affects anything. Just out of curiosity. I know we've had that discussion in the past, Martha.
So your point what?
That there's 7 people who are full-time members, but it's 6 Ds, 1 R. I didn't know if is that a problem, or I'm not making a big deal out of it?
No, as long as we should try to aim though for unaffiliated. It would be nice to get some unaffiliated
right. I agree.
alternate.
I have no problem with it. I just want to make sure we're not violating.
Well, let's see.
No.
Okay, so if we have Gregory would move to a D. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that probably is an issue. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, because if you have 7 people, you can't have more than 4, technically, from one party.
Okay.
So
Hold on.
So we'll have to do.
So Fenton, we have Fenton, Blair, Redfield, Futoma, and Griswold. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is 1 more than should be. So
Then I would suggest we table this and we have to do some homework on this then with the chairs of open space.
Yeah, because even as it stands, it exceeds the way it works. All right, so we better table that and have conversations. So we need a motion to table.
I'll make a motion to table the appointments of the Open Space Commission pending further review of the stats. Breakout.
Okay, there's a motion to table.
I'll second.
Okay, second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye. Good. Park and Recreation, we have 3 incumbents and 2 applicants. So we have Robert Dunn, Brenda McKeever, and Ryan Lee as the incumbents, and we have Pam Russell and Anna Ryder as applicants, let's say. And these would be for terms ending in January 26. The 3 incumbents have expressed a desire to continue, and so the question is, what do we do with the 2 applicants in that situation? I think in the past we have talked with the chairman and gotten basically a flavor of how the incumbents are doing. In this case, one of the people that is proposed to be renewed is the chairman. So I think, and I think we appointed Ryan Lee
last May.
Somewhat recently. Let me see here.
May 22.
Yeah.
May. So before we make a motion, we could discuss how we want to handle this.
There's no alternate positions available in this commission?
I don't believe Park and Rec has any alternate positions. I think there's simply 7 regular positions, and so that's an oddity. It's funny how different boards and commissions operate differently. So.
I just would like to state that I'm a little concerned that Park and Rec only had 8 meetings in 2022. And I understand that sometimes chairs, not only in this commission but in others, travel. And I just, it's very often that I serve on Board of Ed, and sometimes our chair can't be there. It means someone else chairs the meeting. It's a temporary chair. But Park and Rec is a program that goes year-round. And programs are going year-round, and I know that Don and Winnie have total control of that. But I do feel that the Park and Rec Commission should meet more than 8 times a year. And I would hope that if you're not going to be able to attend, you have the ability to attend hybrid by phone, and someone else could chair the meeting from afar, from in person. I just hope that would be done more often this year.
Does their schedule of meetings provide only for 8 meetings?
No, they've had more meetings in the past. They've met as many as 12 times a year in past years, but last year was only 8. Yeah,
because I know even like zoning, I think, takes off August and so forth. So many meet all year long. Some do have some times when they don't meet regularly.
Right.
But obviously they're probably very busy in the summer, and as they approach the summer, they have to plan their programs and all that stuff.
Right.
Which are the months that they does the schedule actually only provide for 8 meetings?
There were no meetings in, I believe it was either January and February or February and March of last year. And then there was none in, I would think it was August. And perhaps there was one in the fall that was also missed. I think some have been canceled, and I can pull it up if you want to wait a second on my website, but they were scheduled.
Yeah, I guess that would be probably. I would hope that the commission would vote not to meet versus just having a suggestion we don't meet.
What do you mean by that? I'm confused.
Well, in other words, if they say, look, our agenda's pretty light right now and looking ahead to the next month, so let's not meet next month, and there'd either be consensus or a vote or something. One would think that, I don't know that the ordinance states how many meetings they're supposed to meet. Could check into that as well.
So, Tim, there were meetings in January, April, May, June, July, September, November, and December.
Yeah.
I guess it's something to keep an eye on, just remind them that they should have a fair share of meetings, even if the agenda is light,
Right. Well, or like I said, if I know that there are chairs who all like to be there, but if you have if you do have to travel or be out of town, you can certainly turn over the chair of his position for one meeting. Your vice chair can chair a meeting. It's not that you're making him the chair of the commission. You're just asking him to chair a meeting.
Right.
Or call in.
Well, I guess if the commission chooses not to meet, hopefully it's not because one member can't be there. It would be that maybe they feel the workload for that month is light and they just don't need to meet. I'm not sure whether they document why they are not going to meet. Sounds like they are scheduled for monthly meetings, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I'm looking to see from their December meeting of 21 if they put together their dates for their meetings for 2022, and perhaps they didn't, but I do not see it.
All boards and commissions by the 31st of December are supposed to submit a schedule for meetings for the next year.
Right.
So at that point,
but shouldn't that be part of their agenda for their December meeting?
Yeah, I know we do that.
Yeah.
And we switched from twice a month to once a month, so that was a decision we all made. But in terms of deleting a meeting, I think they could cancel a meeting, certainly, but in terms of their scheduled meetings, that should be sent to the town clerk.
Right. So,
Okay.
All
right.
So I could ask.
I'm looking at their agenda for their December of 2022 meeting. They do not have anything on their agenda as far as setting up their dates for the next year.
And same with November, maybe.
Give me a second, and I don't think there was a November meeting, but I'll check. Yeah, there was a November meeting. Oh, let's see. There was nothing at the November meeting on the agenda for 2023 dates as well.
Okay, well, I guess that's worth a follow-up.
Thank you. I would appreciate it. I know you probably have some contact with them, Matt, because of Little League.
Yeah, and find out what's going on. All right, so are we moving forward with this? All right.
Okay, so we have the incumbents, and we have two other individuals who've applied, and there's only space for 3 appointments.
Well, I make a motion to appoint Robert Dunn, Brendan McKeever, and Ryan Lee as regular members of the Park and Rec Commission with their term ending January 31st, 2026.
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion on it? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. Next one is the Pension Committee, Rick Stout. Actually, the Pension Committee does have terms contrary to normal the way the committees work. So Rick is the sole individual who has a term ending. So his would be renewed until January 26th.
Make a motion to reappoint Rick Stout to the Pension Committee with the term ending January 31st, 2026.
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Planning Commission, the regular members are elected, but the alternates are appointed. And we have 3 one-year alternate terms for Jim Lampos to January 24, Christopher Kerr, January 24, Matthew Ward, January 24. So you'll probably have to recuse yourself.
You're going to have to stay off this one, Matt.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to appoint Jim Lampos, Christopher Kerr, and Matthew Ward to one-year alternate positions to the Planning Commission with terms ending January 31st of 2024.
I will
Tim,
second it, and I'll note that Mr. Ward recused himself. All right, so we have a motion moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Writing that in there. All right, next is the Rogers Lake Authority. The way the authority works, there are 3 members from Old Lyme and 3 members from Lyme. Of our 3 members, Janelle James has a term to be renewed, a 3-year term. She is recommended by the authority to continue, and she's willing to do so, so it would be a 3-year term ending January 26th.
Make a motion to appoint Janelle James as a regular member of the Rogers Lake Authority Commission, or term ending January 31st, 2026.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next is the Shellfish Commission. We have Todd Macknick as an incumbent. This is a 3-year term ending January of 26. Marco Aurelia has applied to be on the Shellfish Commission as well. I looked at the town ordinance about this, and it provides that there are 3 individuals on the Shellfish Commission as regular members, and there are no alternates listed, which may be different than the state statute. I think, Martha, you were looking at that. So the fact that our ordinance is specific on that, I believe we need to conform to that. The other 2 sitting members are not up, so there's only one of the 2 on the sheet here that can be voted to be the term going to 26. It's not a particularly active commission, but when necessary, I think it comes to bat. And Todd's been on there a good while, and I don't think there's any complaints about him, so he's willing to continue.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Todd Macknick to the Shellfish Commission with a term ending January 31st, 2026.
I'll second.
All right, any other discussion?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you to Mr. Aurelia for, applying to these things. Unfortunately, there's no room to add anybody.
Well, we can keep the application in case somebody decides to come off. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. Next is the Sound View Commission. We have some, let's see. My next sheet here. Okay. We have one member of the Soundview Commission whose term ends in January 23, Marissa Calvi-Rogers, who stated she's not intending to continue. So we have other members, though. We have Frank Papalardo. His term is ending January 26. Michaela Pearson, same. And therefore, and then we have two alternates, Jackie Mayano, a one-year term to 24, and Paul Orzel, alternate term to January 24. Those are the incumbents. We have 3 applicants who have expressed an interest in joining. Stephanie Laversi, Thomas Larson, and Robert Carlson, Jr. In talking with the chair and another member of the commission, it was pointed out that Stephanie is actually the manager of the Pavilion, which is the bar in Soundview, and a member whose term is not up at this time, Frank Murata, is the owner of that bar. So there was concern that having 2 people working for the same entity might pose some issue. And then in terms of Mr. Larson, I guess he's been attending regularly, but he seems to be a bit argumentative. I don't know personally. He has a business in the area, and I think he lives in the area. Mr. Carlson comes to meetings, and he does not live there, but he's fairly frequent attendee of the meetings. So, in terms of looking to fill the vacancy, let's see.
So, would you like a motion?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to appoint Frank Papalardo and Michaela Pearson to 3-year terms as regular members of the Soundview Commission with terms ending January 31st, 2026, and to appoint Jackie Mayano, Paul Orzel, and Robert Carlson to 1-year terms as alternates on the Soundview Commission with terms ending January 31st, 2024.
I'll second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Any other discussion on that?
Was the third person Carlson?
Yeah, Robert Carlson
Robert
Jr.
Carlson Jr.
Be sure, thank you.
Yep.
All right, we're ready to vote. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good. Okay, now next we have the tree commission members, incumbents. We have Joanne DiCamillo, who's the chairman, with a term ending January 26, Michael Gaffey, with a term ending January 26, and as an alternate for a one-year term ending January 24, Fred Berenger. I don't know if I mentioned, but the regular terms are 3-year terms.
All right, so I make a motion to appoint Joanne DiCamillo and Michael Gaffey as regular members of the tree commissions with a term ending January 31st, 2026, and alternate Fred Berenger with a one-year term expiring January 31st, 2024.
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Next is the Water Pollution Control Authority. There are a number of positions open, but Steve Erbowitz has submitted an application to be a regular member, a 4-year term ending January of 26. That would be filling an unexpired term. There are two individuals coming off as regulars, so they're both the same term. So it would be filling a 4-year term ending January 26.
I'll make a motion to appoint Steve Erbowitz to a 4-year term to the Water Pollution Control Authority with a term ending January 31st, 2026.
I'll second.
I move and seconded. Discussion?
Just one question on that, Tim. We had 2 members of the WPCA resign, if I'm correct. They did not go back. And so how urgent is it that we fill some of these positions so that they'll have a quorum at meetings?
Not a problem, because we would have, out of 9 members, we would have 7. So there wouldn't be a quorum problem, but I know...
8? Because it was 9 and 2 left, so we just filled 1, so it's back to 8. 8 out of 9, no? Am I wrong? There's 9 regular members. Carpentino and Chan resigned.
Yeah, so that's 7 plus 1 is 8. Yeah, so 8 out of 9. And I know the members are seeking to identify other people to come on. I think they're really trying to have people who may have some familiarity with construction and sewers and the like, because this is obviously an important one right at the moment.
I would strongly suggest that they put something out in the weekly newsletter, in your weekly newsletter, that they mention that, because there are people out there who are interested, but unless it's drawn to their attention, they're not going to know about it.
Yeah, I think once these positions, after our, say, the meeting on the 6th, we'll create a list of all the open positions, and then seek applicants. Next is the zoning.
We didn't vote.
Pardon?
We didn't vote.
Oh.
Just had discussion.
Okay, so Stephen Erbowitz, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Zoning Commission. Similar to planning, the zoning regular members are elected, but the alternates are appointed. We have the incumbents of Sloan Danenauer, Michael Barnes, and Sherry Johnston, who wish to continue. We have 2 applications, one from Gil Susi and from Anna Ryder. These are 1-year terms to January of 24. In speaking with the chairman, he expressed that he is satisfied with the performance of the existing alternates. So that's just his input.
So I'm just a little concerned that Sherry Johnston has missed 4 meetings this year. And I think that's excessive for a commission that's this important in town, making decisions. And I'm not sure that Paul's aware of that.
Well, if he's the chairman, I imagine they must do a motion to seat. You know, I guess for an alternate, you'd notice the alternate's not there, but you don't replace an alternate because you only replace regular.
I understand that, but I'm just stating my concern that if these matters are voted on a monthly basis, things are continued, and it's important to be up to speed, even if you are an alternate, because you may be called in to vote on at the next meeting.
That's right. Yeah.
So based on that, I'd like to make a motion, if I may.
Certainly.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Sloan Danahauer and Michael Barnes and Gil Soucy as alternates to the Zoning Commission for 1-year positions ending January 31st, 2024.
Okay, we have a motion for those 3. We have a second.
I don't have Gil's information. I don't know anything about him.
Gil served on the Zoning Commission before, Matt. Hold on one second. I can pull it. I'm sorry that you don't have it.
I get it here.
I'm coming fast and furious. I might have missed one.
Yeah.
Zoning Commission. He was on the Zoning Commission. He was an alternate, followed by 6 years as an elected member with 3 years as vice chair. He's also a current member of the Ethics Commission, and he'll resign if he gets appointed to the Zoning Commissioner alternate. And he was not only that, he was also vice chair of the Zoning Commission for 3 years. He said he's been to at least, over his lifetime, he's been to over 70 zoning committee meetings. He was also an alternate to the Board of Finance for a year, and he was on the Pension Committee 4 years as chairperson. And he has served our town quite well in those roles.
I'm not sure when Sherry joined.
Last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah, February 2022. I remember voting. I remember voting for that.
Mm-hmm.
All three of them were February of 2022.
Okay, yeah, it's a one year deal. Well, I know Sherry not extremely well, but I know she's very she's a hard worker. I don't know why she missed 4 meetings, whether there was some cause. Nowadays, if you're not present in Lyme, you can always call in. I think they must.
That's right, and those and that is marked on their. Those people who call in are marked on their attendance as called in.
Mm-hmm. I was unaware that she had attendance problems, and so I'd like to know more about that, if there was any mitigating circumstance. But were they random here and there? Were they in a row or what?
I didn't mark the dates down. for you, but I did my homework to prepare for this meeting because we're picking people who are doing work for the town.
Yes.
I'll second Martha's motion.
Okay. I'll probably not endorse the motion simply because I'd like to learn more about it. It's always difficult if you have a chairman's recommendation and somebody who's on the commission. So I'd like to dig into this a little more, but
So you want to make a counter motion to table it till you get further information?
well, I'll suggest tabling it to explore a little more the attendance and dig into it a little more. Talk with some other members maybe to get their input. We're lucky in Lyme to have volunteers, and so you hate to. Certainly, if somebody's not performing well, then you don't want to continue that. So whether this is for any particular reason, or whether it's just, well, I'll get to it when I get to it type thing. So I'll make a motion to table and see where that goes.
I'll second that.
So do we have to ask if I will drop my motion, or
No, motion to table is non-debatable.
Okay.
So
Okay.
One can vote for or against it, but
I'll second the table.
okay. Any more discussion on the motion to table?
No, not to.
Okay. All in favor of the motion to table?
Aye.
Aye.
I said aye. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So the motion to table, we will bring it up. I'll put it on for the 6th.
Okay. I'm just really, people want to get on committees. You're appointed a year ago, 12 meetings, maybe some more with specials, but to miss them, you've got to come up to speed. You've got to do your homework. You've got to be in attendance, either by phone. I mean, we have the option now, be by phone or whatever, but you can't be missing meetings. And I do think that as long as Paul has his quorum there, he's not really maybe making notes or noticing, but our job is to make sure that we are picking people who are committed to being there and will be there.
Yeah. Okay. We do have one late addition, which is the Veterans Service Officer. It was not on the system, and so Katie brought up the fact that needs to be added. So it is a one-year appointment, I believe, and the person handling it at the moment is Anthony Vallombroso, Vallombroso. Tony is a member of the Lyme Fire Department. He's also served as the Brigadier General for the National Guard in the past, and he is the Lyme's Veteran Service Officer. So I think down near the water cooler, near the foyer, there's a veteran bulletin board, and so I believe his name's mentioned there. So
is he like the contact person from a veteran from town, and go see him, and he goes to try to help them out?
Yeah.
So if they have issues with their anything, he can help them out.
I would say so. I don't know. I expect if somebody's having problems with a VA or maybe retirement checks or who knows what, I think that'd be a good place to start. He could then direct somebody to another source, but at least he's a local person, and he seems very diligent to me. So,
How do you spell his last name again? I'm sorry.
Vallombroso. Vallombroso.
So I'll make a motion to appoint Anthony Vallombroso as the Veterans Service Officer for the town of Old Lyme with term ending January 31st, 2024.
Right.
I will second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I believe that concludes the list. And as I say, if we get any other apps in for some of the still empty spots, and we'll work on a couple of these ones that we tabled, we'll carry on the 6th.
All right. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded to adjourn. It's 4 minutes after 5. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.